Hello everybody, welcome to Live Interactive English. This is Shane.
And this is Karen. Today we are looking at part 2 of Edinburgh, a city of history and mystery. So it does sound like a really interesting and unique place. A place that's like no others, right?
Yeah, when we think of Scotland, we're not just talking about bagpipes and men in dresses. Right? There's
Skirts, kilts.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery there too. Like we talked about the Loch Ness Monster, but there's also the fairy pools.
Fairy pools? What are the fairy pools?
It's where you can go and basically watch fairies or like little people bathing.
Can you also jump in there yourself?
I guess you could try, but I mean...
That we're not sure of.
But again, I don't think there's really such a thing as fairies, but it's so cool to think of this as part of the tradition there, is believing in these kind of like fantastical type things.
That's right, just like unicorns, right?
Yeah.
And another interesting thing about Scotland is that they have the Highland Games.
Oh, the Highland Games.
Yeah, like a very big sporting event in Scotland. And it usually starts in about May and it ends at the end of September. And there are many different kind of events. So for example, like track and field, tug of war, and there's also hammer throwing too.
Oh, fun.
That sounds really interesting.
Is there any golf there?
That I'm not sure.
Well, did you know that golf is said to have began in Scotland?
I did not know that.
So many interesting things to know about Scotland and, of course, the capital city of Edinburgh.
Exactly.
So let's continue and learn more.
All right.
Okay.
Anyone who visits Edinburgh in October is in for a real treat. Historical buildings across the city are blanketed in an ivy whose leaves turn a brilliant red each autumn. One of the best places to spot this sign of the season is the 19th century Carlowry Castle. And if you're looking for a scare, join one of the many ghost tours that take you through the underground tunnels of Edinburgh. Here you can trace the steps of some 19th century thieves. However, these thieves didn't steal money or jewelry. They dug up bodies of the dead to sell to doctors for medical studies.
Thanks for coming back to part 2 of Edinburgh, a city of history and mystery.
Yay, I can't wait to learn more about Edinburgh.
Cool.
Anyone who visits Edinburgh in October is in for a real treat. Ooh, in for a real treat. That means something good's gonna happen.
Yeah, a treat is something good, basically.
That's right.
A real treat means it's very good. It's
Exactly.
really good.
Okay, let's find out why. Historical buildings across the city are blanketed in an ivy whose leaves turn a brilliant red each autumn. Ooh.
So if they're blanketed in, something is blanketed in something else.
Covered.
It's covered, kind of like how a blanket
blanket
covers somebody. Exactly.
That's right.
Wow.
Ooh, with all the red leaves, I guess, right?
Yeah, that sounds so beautiful. Okay, continuing, one of the best places to spot this sign of the season is the 19th century Carlowry Castle.
Ooh, another castle.
Oh man, castles are so cool. Gosh, it really reminds me. I feel like I'm in a Harry Potter.
Right?
I feel like I'm in the J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series now.
So maybe that's where she got all her inspiration
Of course,
from, right?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, it's just castles everywhere.
Exactly.
And if you're looking for a scare,
Looking for a scare.
join one of the many ghost tours that take you through the underground tunnels of Edinburgh.
Wait a minute.
I love a good scare.
So if you say that you're looking for a scare, that means you want something or someone to come and scare you.
You want to be scared. Exactly.
Just like when you go to a haunted house, right?
It sounds weird to want to be scared, but it's a very natural part of being human, I think. I can't understand people who do not like horror movies?
I don't really like horror movies
Because
because I don't like
Being
a good scare.
scared is fun. Oh my goodness.
Okay, so we're looking at this word tunnel, and that is a noun.
Sounds scary.
So a tunnel is a passage that runs underground or through something, like a train tunnel that cuts through a mountain. So for example, we drove through a tunnel on the way to the city.
Yeah, and these are underground tunnels.
Ghost tours though.
There's ghosts. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. Okay, let's find out more about this.
Okay, so here you can trace the steps of some 19th century thieves.
Okay, so if you're going to trace the steps of somebody, that means you are going to walk in the same place or on the same route as somebody else.
Follow their steps, right?
Exactly.
But wait a minute. Trace the steps of some 19th century
Thieves.
Now, a thief is someone who takes somebody's things without permission or without asking.
Someone who steals things, yes.
Exactly. So some people can be taking your wallet or your purse or your bag, and they would be thieves, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's find out why they want to do that. However, these thieves didn't steal money or jewelry.
Okay.
Okay, so what did
They weren't stealing people's purses and wallets. Did they have purses and wallets back then?
Okay, so they dug up bodies of the dead to sell to doctors for medical studies. That is so scary.
That is so awesome.
That is so scary.
That sounds so fun. Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me? Digging up people's bodies?
Well, if you're going to steal something cool. So to steal is taking things that don't belong to you. They belong to others and you don't have their permission. You're stealing. So for example, a dog stole my sandwich when I set it on the bench.
Okay, so he took it without asking you.
Although dogs don't normally ask people for permission, do they?
They don't. That's right.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Well, can I have permission to take a small break?
Okay, fine.
I appreciate that.
And we'll come back and learn more about this interesting place.
Spooky.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。我们在第一天的课程有提到，秋天是造访爱丁堡的绝佳时机。那这是因为城市各地的历史建筑都被常春藤覆盖。那每年秋天啊，常春藤的叶子都会变成鲜红色的哦。好，那其中一个最佳观赏地点就是19世纪的卡洛里城堡。那现在是10月，月底就是 Halloween， 是万圣夜了嘛。如果你想要被吓一吓，你可以去参加那种会带你穿越爱丁堡地下隧道的抓鬼团，跟随19世纪盗墓贼的足迹。那这些贼呢，他们没有偷钱偷珠宝，而是去挖掘死者的尸体，然后再卖给医生来进行医学研究。好，我们先来看单字 tunnel。tunnel 是名词，表示隧道或者是地道。那么 steal 它表示偷窃，它的动词三态是 steal、stole、stolen。那补充一下，老师们刚刚还有提到 haunted 这个字 ，H-A-U-N-T-E-D， 它可以形容是闹鬼的或是挥之不去的。那它的动词是 haunt， 那就可以表达可能是鬼魂等等它在出没的那个状态，或者是不断纠缠的意思。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，这边我们来学习关系代名词 who 跟 whose 的用法。首先 who 是主格关系代名词，引导形容词子句去修饰或是补述说明，表示人的先行词。我们看两个例句。Anyone who is interested is welcome to join us. 任何有兴趣的人都欢迎加入我们。这边我们用 anyone who 点点点来表达任何怎么样的人。那这时候这个 who 引导的子句是修饰用。再来 ，Their uncle who is a good cook and has a good sense of humor lives next door. 他们的叔叔住在隔壁。那我们这边只是要补充说明他叔叔他很会煮菜，很有幽默感。那这边是补述说明的用法。再来看到 whose， 它是所有格关系代名词，用来修饰或是补述先行词，去表达说先行词的什么什么。那这个先行词可以是人、事或是物。我们看两个例句。They recently bought a house whose previous owner was a professor. 他们最近买了一间房子。那这边我们要修饰这间房子，说他的前屋主是一位教授。 好，再看到另一个例句是 Brian is about to marry his girlfriend, whose father is a professor. Brian 即将跟他的女友结婚，那这边我们要对这位女友做补充说明了，说对方的爸爸是一位教授，所以我们看到有用逗号把补充说明部分隔开。好，那么接着回到课文中。
Last but not least, those who are lucky enough to be in Edinburgh on Halloween night shouldn't miss the Samhain Fire Festival on Calton Hill. During this festival, you can watch as people in amazing costumes perform fire dances and acrobatic tricks to mark the Celtic New Year. The magical experience will make you want to return to Edinburgh year after year.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So before the break, we were learning how awesome and how wonderful Edinburgh is, right?
Yeah.
And it's a great time to visit in October because of the beautiful red leaves. And if you're looking for a good scare, you can go on these ghost tours and you can go on the underground tunnels and where you can follow the steps of the 19th century thieves who dug up bodies and then sold them to doctors. And that just sounds a little bit too much.
That sounds so creepy and so awesome. All right, and that's perfect for Halloween.
That's right, and Halloween's in October.
Yeah, last but not least, those who are lucky enough to be in Edinburgh on Halloween night shouldn't miss the Samhain Fire Festival on Calton Hill.
Ooh,
a fire festival.
What's a fire festival?
A festival where there's lots of fire?
Okay, well, during this festival, you can watch as people in amazing costumes perform fire dances and acrobatic tricks to mark the Celtic New Year. Wow.
That sounds so fun.
Fire dances, and you have the acrobats doing special tricks.
You know, I always kind of felt like outside of the United States that Halloween would be pretty boring, but it sounds like Edinburgh is the place to be for Halloween. That's where I'm going next time.
Exactly, and it's very, very unique with its own traditions. So amazing is our next vocabulary word, and that's an adjective. So when you describe something that's amazing, that means something is very surprising and makes you feel like pleasure, approval of, or wonder. You know, something that is fantastic, very great, wonderful.
Awesome.
So for example, that book was amazing. I loved it. That means it was really, really, really great.
Karen?
Is amazing.
You're amazing.
Thank you.
How about me?
You are amazing too.
Oh, okay, thank you. Because I am so good at performing.
That's right.
Okay, so perform means most of the time to sing, dance, act, or put on any kind of a show.
That's right.
Right? So for example, the band performed many hit songs in front of a large crowd.
So hit songs are like songs that are really popular.
Oh, if
right?
something is a hit, it means it's very popular.
That's right.
Okay, continuing. The magical experience will make you want to return to Edinburgh year after year.
That means every year you want to go back, right?
Yeah.
Magical, and that's an adjective. It just means extremely or extraordinarily pleasant, enjoyable, or exciting.
Yeah, kind of like what magic is, right? When you see magic or something like that, it just, that's what a magical feeling is.
Exactly. So for example, Cindy said she had a magical time at the ball. That means she has such a fantastic, wonderful time.
The ball?
Like a dance party.
Oh, that kind of ball. Okay.
That's right. So we have a what do you think question. So let me ask you, have you visited another city full of history and mystery? If so, what was your experience like?
Well, not only did I visit a city with lots of history and mystery, after I visited it the first time, I decided to move back there because I loved the history and mystery so much.
Really? Where?
Barcelona, Spain. Yeah, I mentioned that a little bit earlier, but I lived there and they have these Gothic, old Gothic buildings there. When you walk around there at night, it's so mysterious and it's just amazing. The feeling that you get while you're there, oh, it's magical. I mean,
so that's why you decided to stay there for a year, was it?
Yeah, I lived there for a year, and it was really because it was just so magical.
So maybe the next place that you can stay for a long time would be Edinburgh.
It's sounding like the next place on my list.
Right?
Yes.
Oh, it certainly sounds great. And I learned so many interesting facts about this place.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that Edinburgh and Scotland had so much to offer.
Exactly.
All right, that's all the time we have for it, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.
好，最后课文写到说，那些够幸运可以在万圣夜来到爱丁堡的人，绝对不能错过卡尔顿山的煞温火节。那在这个节庆期间，你就可以观赏到那些身穿绝美服装的人们在表演火舞啊，还有杂技来庆祝这个凯尔特新年。那这个奇妙体验一定会让你每一年都想要再回到爱丁堡的。好，那我们来看一下单字 amazing。amazing 是形容令人称奇的、惊人的或是绝妙的、非常好的。那有一个相似的单字是 awesome，awesome，那它也可以形容是令人惊叹的或是非常好的。下一个单字 perform 是动词，它表示表演、演出或是执行。那么 magical 则是形容美妙的、神奇的或是充满魔法的。好，那我们课文的补充单字 acrobatic， 它是形容杂技的。那老师有提到它的名词 acrobat。acrobat， 那这个名词则是指杂技演员。好，这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是形容词或副词加 enough 加 to be 去表达说够怎么样，足以做某事。enough 表示足够，它可以摆在副词或形容词的后面来做修饰。那如果是要说明对某人来说是足够的，我们就可以在 enough 后面加上 for somebody。我们看两个例句哦。Max is tall enough to touch the ceiling. Max 够高，能够摸到天花板。They're trying to find a house that is cheap enough for them to buy. 他们正在找够便宜买得起的房子。好，那以上是这个讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Anyone who visits Edinburgh in October is in for a real treat. Historical buildings across the city are blanketed in an ivy whose leaves turn a brilliant red each autumn. One of the best places to spot this sign of the season is the 19th century Karlsruhe Castle. And if you're looking for a scare, join one of the many ghost tours that take you through the underground tunnels of Edinburgh. Here you can trace the steps of some 19th century thieves. However, these thieves didn't steal money or jewelry. They dug up bodies of the dead to sell to doctors for medical studies. Last but not least, those who are lucky enough to be in Edinburgh on Halloween night shouldn't miss the Samhain Fire Festival on Calton Hill. During this festival, you can watch as people in amazing costumes perform fire dances and acrobatic tricks to mark the Celtic New Year. The magical experience will make you want to return to Edinburgh year after year.
Hello everybody, today we're going to be taking a look at Koji Pottery. This Han Dynasty style pottery was originally in southern China, but followed the people who immigrated to Taiwan since the Qing Dynasty. Now it has its own unique Taiwanese style, and it's the representative craft of Jiayi. So why don't we take a look at Koji Pottery?
这个胶头的名称是日本人来到台湾的时候那时候日本那个胶煮香盒就是从那个福建漳州窑到日本日本的胶煮香盒就是像我们的胶子刀，也是低温釉里面也是很多的彩丽的颜色。日本看到那个台湾的胶子就是有点像那个胶煮香盒他们就认为这个和胶煮香盒一样，就把它胶质了。 教主这个名字是一个地名，就是越南，因为当时中日是禁印，所以很多陶瓷送到日本都不敢说是中国从那个福建漳州来的，都说这个是高级国来教主国了，所以他们认为那时候是教主相合。日本很重视这个文化，我们以前都是弄南藤啦、酒藤的啦、米王日本说就是教主陶，而且日本的创立的时候也有说是因为当时的集散地就是嘉义，说把它当做猪头沙嘉义烧，
Koji pottery is a type of multicolored pottery made using a low-temperature firing method. It originated from the Han Dynasty-style pottery of southern China. Long ago, Koji pottery was used to make porcelain works, statues of deities, wine bottles, and temple decorations. Since the Qing dynasty, many people began moving to Taiwan. Society became more prosperous by the day. This also drove the need for the construction and restoration of temples. As a result, pottery makers from Fujian and Guangdong came to Taiwan. After being passed down from generation to generation, the art of Koji pottery has developed its own unique style in Taiwan.
教主陶为什么有3美呢？第一个美就是它雕塑之美，再来是彩釉之美。这个整个汉中国的陶瓷没有彩绘那么华丽的，这19世纪大概彩绘最漂亮的文化是在台湾，因为道光以后台湾的庙宇比较有钱，所以一流匠师是在台湾走的。是不是雕塑彩绘之美？再来就是什么故事之美？这每个都有故事你看那个故事，你就说整个那个文学啦，那戏剧诗词啦雕塑里面的文化是在哪里，精髓在哪里？就是从，所以这个非常有一个动感的一个文化美食。
Koji pottery is used as decoration for buildings. It is normally used to make colorful figures or divine animals. In addition to temples, Koji pottery also can be seen at luxury residential complexes and on the walls of ancestral shrines. The themes of Koji pottery usually represent historical events with educational significance. No matter the subject, Koji pottery reflects the values and cultures of people in Taiwan. Koji pottery is Chiayi's representative craft. The development of Koji pottery in Chiayi can be attributed to Yawan. He was a Koji master born in Chiayi in 1826. His artwork was diverse and delicate. Because of Yawan's outstanding techniques, Japanese artists began calling Koji pottery Chiayi ware. Taiwan's Koji pottery can be roughly divided into 2 schools. One is the school of gemstone glazing, led by Yawan. The other is the school of watercolor glazing, led by Hong Kuan Fu. These 2 types of glazing methods have their own distinctive features. Gemstone glazing produces bright, stable colors. And watercolor glazing offers deep and warm colors after firing. At the Chiayi City God Temple, you can enjoy these 2 schools' works. The process of making Koji pottery contains the following 8 steps. Step 1, drafting. Drafting can ensure a degree of accuracy when making Koji pottery. Step 2, kneading. The purpose of kneading is to increase the plasticity of the clay. Step 3, shaping. The greenware, or unfired pottery, that's shaped by hand is usually used for temple decorations. Step 4, hollowing. In order to get even heating, greenware needs to be hollowed out. Step 5, drying. After being hollowed out, it needs to be dried in a cool, ventilated place. The time it takes to dry depends on the size of the piece. Step 6, bisque firing. When bisque firing, slowly increasing the temperature is of the utmost importance. Step 7, glaze making. The glaze used for Koji pottery is made from ground metal. Step 8, glazing and glazed firing. An ink brush is a tool used for glazing pottery. During the glazing process, adding some water can make it easier for the glaze to adhere to the pottery. Making Koji pottery involves many skills such as sculpting, painting, and firing. It takes time and energy to finish just one piece of Koji pottery. Koji pottery can be used to represent historical events, moral virtues, and symbols of good fortune. It is an important cultural asset of Taiwan. By admiring each piece of Koji pottery, we can learn about its creator, background, meaning, and much more.
Wow, so Koji pottery is really beautiful and quite interesting. It can be used to represent historical events, moral virtues, and even symbols of good fortune. So maybe you can test yourself now and see if you can remember the 8-step process for making Koji pottery. Hopefully you can do it, and I will see you next time.